What's up, mortgage coach Dave Savage here, and I am with Stephanie Johnston, coming to you live from where, Stephanie?
Dallas, Texas, or McKinney more specifically.
Right on. And I am broadcasting live out of Portland, Oregon. And we're going to find out how Stephanie is crushing it with Mortgage Coach and just what she's doing in the market today. So, Stephanie, I think this is the second time I've interviewed you, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Second time.
Yeah, and you crushed it. You were awesome the first time. I think it was just following up from Sales Mastery last year.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What a bummer. No live Sales Mastery.
Oh, I know. I was so looking forward to it, and I love going to San Diego. It's one of our favorite places. And
I know. But Todd's going to do a virtual event. There's going to be like 40,000 plus mortgage professionals virtually. So check out Sales Mastery. So how are you doing? How's business? Tell us a little bit about you in your market right now.
Business is crazy. It's amazing. And I think everyone's kind of not where we expected this year to go. We knew we would have some good growth and have an amazing year, but obviously the rates have helped out tremendously with there. And I think we've been able to reach a lot of milestones. I started my career, 14 years ago, but came over to this side. I think it's been 6.5 now. And I said every single year, I want 100 million. And it was over and over and over again. And I think it's so exciting that we're going to hit that and we're going to crush it too, which is not even, definitely not where I thought we'd be at the beginning of the year. We're on pace for about 130 and we should make 100 million well before December. So we are so excited about that. And just because it's been such a goal of mine, just setting the bar that high from zero, saying I was going to make it. And here we are 6 years later making it. So that is kind of exciting.
Yeah, no, congratulations. And are you number one at Service First now? Are you the number one loan officer?
Yes, we've been. I'm gonna for other Service First people watching this, I'm gonna cross my fingers when I say this. I'm trying to go 12 for 12. We've been 7 for 7 thus far, number one position. So no one's beat us or beat me for the any month yet. I'm gonna try to make that. I've got a good lead on second place, but I want to try to make top for the year and top every month. So fingers crossed, we're gonna get there.
Rubbing it in everybody's face. So service officers know she's not satisfied with just being number one for the year. She wants to be number one every single month of the year.
Everyone I gotta set goals. Hey, and if they do more, it pushes me to do more. So hey, I want everyone else to keep coming, and it'll all keep us doing more, and it'll everyone has a better year that way.
I agree.
Competition.
I've never met a top producer who's not competitive. How do you like the belts that we came out with? How we have the black belt?
I love it.
Did you dig that?
I know. You're like, I mean, of course I need the top belt. I mean, what do I need to do? Just like you told me, you're like, why aren't you doing video with yours? You're doing an outside mortgage coach instead of inside. I was like, oh, so yeah, I should do that. Because of course I'm going to get a belt by doing it. So I'm going to do that. I mean, give me a trophy and I'll just go do whatever to get it.
Yeah, well, I am having a ball interviewing top producers right now. I interviewed Amber Kovark last week on Tuesday. She did 45 loans last month. And she wasn't even at the office. She was staying at her dad's house in North Carolina. And her team, she has a team, closed 45 loans. So she was pretty pumped on that. Guys, I'll put a link down below because I'm going to reference that interview a few times. But I kicked off the conversation like, what are you doing different this year? Or what are you doing post-COVID? So before COVID, now we're in COVID. What's different about your mortgage experience?
I think we've been able to grow the same thing as a team. So we've been able to, the thing that it helps realizing that we can set the bar and do that. And when I say we, I mean my team too, because it's all my personal production, but I couldn't get there without all of my, team members and all their roles and my loan officer assistants and team leads. So when I reference that, that's why. But I think it's so cool to realize, and that's the main thing. Like we're, okay, the 1 month, I think our high was 15.5 this month. And I think we hit 54 loans and we would have been higher and, the way things fell. But the thing that was cool, I think about it as well, is every month we've been able to sustain that. So we've been able to sustain these huge, crazy numbers over and over and over again. And it's taught myself and the team that when we come out of this, the loans might look different because we still are purchase heavy. We're not all refis, but when the refis go away, that we can replace it with something else, and we can do this because we're able to help that many customers a month. It's crazy to realize that that's a possibility.
Love that. What about, we just got news last night that there could be a 0.5 point bump on refis. I mean, that's right, hot off the press. Anything you're doing differently with that, or how did you and your team respond to that today?
I think we've always taken the stance of, it's a great deal regardless. And, it's not fun, but it's part of the market. And I think it was a good reminder for the way rates went up and that happened to the consumers that keep saying, wait, 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 wait. So it's good enough. You should go ahead and take it. And we do a very good job of locking people immediately upon quotes, just so that they don't change. Because, if you've got such an amazing deal, why wait? And so we all put it in perspective. We're all dealing with it. It's still all-time great rates. And that's what I tell people when they purchase, whether it's, 2.8 or 3 or 2.7 or 3.25. I mean, man, we're lucky to have any of these options. And so it is what it is, and let's just take it.
Yeah, well, a couple takeaways I had, and I want everybody to think about is, one, you had a positive attitude about it. And two, you're communicating candidly with your clients. Those that aren't locked, you're making them aware of it. You're always seeing the silver lining. So I caught that, like, hey, it's reminding people that it's volatile, I mean, at any moment in time, rates can change. So you're providing people options. So guys, this is live in our Facebook group. If you're watching this live and you have a question for Stephanie, put it in comments. I'll ask her while it's live. If you're watching the recording and it's not live, we'll still get your questions answered. So put any questions down below, any takeaways you get from this. So I always like to kick off this, how do you and your team use Mortgage Coach? Why do you use Mortgage Coach? So why are you using Mortgage Coach?
I think we try to make our perfect loan process, and Mortgage Coach is in that. So it is a non-negotiable for any loan that's getting qualified, whether a refi quote or a purchase. Any loan that we do has a Mortgage Coach, period. We believe in giving transparency in numbers, having people understand the mortgage that they're obtaining, and have clear options that they can choose which one they want. And it is the best tool to show that information. And frankly, it saves me time. I can make the templates, throw all this in here, go 1, 2, 3, have it ready to go. And then if a customer calls, wants to change their price point or rates move, it's one click of the button, change it, send it right back over. And our customers know that's our process. And it's funny that we've even had, now that we've done refinances for our past customers, they expect it. They're like, okay, where's my Mortgage Coach? I got it for my purchase. What does it look like on my refi? And so they're familiar with it. They jump in, they love it. And then, when they look at another lender that just says, here's the rate, no fee sheet at all, nothing, and they see ours, like, okay, no brainer.
Love that. And I love to hear that you trained your clients to have a different expectation than the status quo fee worksheet loan officer. So think about it. If you're a customer and you've got a total cost analysis, which if you're watching this, you're going to see in a minute, compared to a fee worksheet, like when they shop you or they talk to other lenders, they just don't look as pros. So nice job on training them. You mentioned saving time. When I interviewed Amber the other day, she said, I'm working purchase business and realtors during the day, and I'm kind of doing refis on the side. And one of the things that she liked is she could do the refi TCA any hour of the day. Sometimes it was after she put her kids to bed. She could put a video on it, send it over to them, and then wake up in the morning and they're like, let's go, or do this one. Are you doing refis at different times in the day? Are you finding that it gives you more bandwidth?
I would love to say that I also do not work at night, but I absolutely do. I'm one of those late night owls. My people know that you might get an email from me at 1 a.m. and that's cool because that's when I get my most work done. So I think that exactly, like I can work it all up, send it here, give so much value to them. And then by the time they wake up, our favorite is when I want option 3, lock me in. Like, I mean, it sells itself. And then just with the quick explanations and writing and video on top of it, this is why I did this. And then I think the other thing on here that was always a challenge to me in my past life and refis is how do you define that you're saving money when it's not an equal term? So you have to have, it's hard. I have to understand that a customer and what they're truly saving on my side to sell it. And then my team, before Mortgage Coach would look at us and say, well, how do we know they're going from 27 years to 30 or 25? It's a weird complex. And when you do it in Mortgage Coach, it is so easy to show the true savings and prove it and show how much money that they're saving, over the life of the loan or interest per month, et cetera. So it's
love that. So I want to make sure everybody connects the dots, and I'm going to show an Amber TCA real quick because I want to know whether you're doing things like this. and then I'm gonna have you pull up and show one of your TCAs. So here we go. If you could just confirm that you can see my screen. So one, Amber's putting a video on it. Are you putting a video on most of them?
It depends on if I put makeup on that day, let's be honest. If I got dressed for our working at home, we are throwing videos on there. When we do, it helps a ton. So I believe I should do it every time. We do it a lot of the time. So Amber's got me if she's doing it every time, regardless of what happens.
Oh, I'm sure that sometimes she's not, but she's putting the monthly savings, and then she's showing, hey, what if you prepaid your mortgage? Are you doing that move where you show the prepay strategy?
Yeah, we do a couple different. So one cool thing at my company we can do is also we can do same term refis where we do 27 to 27. We'll shorten them, lengthen them. So absolutely. And then I'll go in there usually when I'm on the phone with them live. So my biggest thing is I tend to do more, when do you have 10 minutes to go through this with me on the phone and have them pulled up and move this live with them on the phone than a stagnant video. It helps me be able to then show, let's put the money here, let's do this term, and then I'll pivot them while they're on the phone to say, all right, you don't want loan option 1, let's throw it away. Let's look at 2 and 3. Okay, we want a 20-year. Which rate do we want on the 20-year? And I do a little bit more the live version than video for that reason, I think.
Well, let's pull one up and let's go through that. Are you also using Zoom and Mortgage Coach? How is that working? Just because I want to give everybody your virtual borrower experience best practices.
I mean, we'll get on Zoom, or we can do obviously even just old school. I know I should do a little bit more of that, but even just old school, even if I'm not seeing them and they just pull Mortgage Coach up. So even if you're going simple,
it's phone and Mortgage Coach, and we're just putting it out, which I see it and hear that all the time. And I mean, that's how Amber's doing it. She's doing a lot of Zoom with first-time purchase consultations. Mm-hmm. But guys, that's however you do it. But here's the deal: if you're not giving people a digital mortgage experience, you're missing the boat. So let's pull up your screen. I'll tell you when I can see it.
Okay, I changed my screen. You want the refi one first, right?
Yeah, let's do the refi TCA first.
Okay.
And I am going to want to show a few things in the advice engine. So if you want to actually go to the advice engine, because I want to make sure I show everybody about the belts. Let's see what belt you're at.
Who knows? You want me to be? I don't know if we do. It's well over 1,500. I don't know how long this is with. It's got 1572 in here right now.
That's what I figured.
A lot.
Yep. I see you with more than that.
That's what it shows on the front screen. I think it's much higher because I was at 1,500 like a year ago. Yeah, how many do I have? It's gotta be double that.
And I'll walk you through it because this is how you're doing it. You're a red belt, grandmaster. For anybody new to our community, black belt is 300 TCAs, red belt is 1,000, orange belt is 20. White belt is I'm a fee worksheet loan officer.
So what's the highest? Right, remind us.
The highest belt is 1,000 for now. Although we have so many people over 1,000, we got to figure out a way to distinguish that. So
it's our new bar. I know.
Thinking of ninja, like
ninja. Pink for us girls. We'll take a pink belt.
Yeah. If anybody has ideas on how we recognize people that have done more than 1,000 TCAs, let us know. Jeremy Forcier has done over 5,000. Cody Touche, top producer at Caliber, has done over 6,000 TCAs. So that's right now, over 5 is like you are in a pretty elite class at Mortgage Coach.
Can make a leaderboard. Like, I guess you see it. I don't know if you show it, like who's the top in the country, like who's the highest. First competitive people.
We might want to play with that. I think people would dig that. So I'll tell you when I can see your screen.
Okay. Oh, you can?
Guys, if you have questions, put your questions in comments live. And even if you're watching the recording, we'll get your questions answered.
It's on live or it's not? Sorry.
No, it's not showing.
Okay. Oh.
Share screen. Green box.
No.
Pointing up.
There we go. Okay. I didn't know you were waiting on me.
So boom.
Just talking,
So tell us what you do.
We just want to pull up some examples of what we're doing in Mortgage Coach here. I was trying to pull up some that are a little bit not as, straightforward as far as options. Like I said, I'm on the phone with the customer and I'm doing a little bit more of let's pull up this and let's change it accordingly when we're on the loan. So like this was one that I do like. We do, right now a lot of first and seconds, and it's interesting. We've been a lot of refining a lot of people into first and seconds, which is super weird, but it saves a lot more money when we've been doing that when we run this. So this is one we felt was different when I was talking to the client about it, because we've got the blended rates, and I like to title it where I've separated out what's, I'm doing this versus this. And this was one that was very difficult to quantitate to the customer, because they basically have over here a 30-year first and second right now. And we moved their mortgage balance on the first was quite a bit lower, and we moved their mortgage balance up on the first, but then down on the second. And they had a rate in the sixes on that second. So what was crazy to be able to show them is the true savings over here with all those kind of convoluted numbers that, hey, we're going to save you 4 years of mortgage payments over here on the first and 9 years on that second. So even though they're different maths, kind of come over here and really show, okay, by refinancing, 40 grand, 44 grand over here and down significantly more if we move to this 15. And obviously the big thing that we've been seeing, at least, between a 15 and a 20 is not a huge pricing difference lately. So what we decided for this customer is we actually did that. We took the 20-year and showed it, okay, I don't want to obligate myself to that, $600 a month, but I'll pay that $600 a month. So on the call, we're going through that dialoguing, and then I'm going into paying extra. So I don't have that in a separate column. I was doing it live with him on the phone, saying, okay, well, if we took $600 in column one, which I can, pull that and do that if you want me to, what's the difference between obligating yourself to that 15? And really these numbers, he was shocked as to how much closer these numbers got when you did that. So
you're tailoring and you're teaching, and how long do these conversations usually take? Because I heard you say, hey, do you have 10 minutes to jump on a call? Like, how long does it take you to have a conversation with a borrower?
Purchase and refi, I'd say, are different. We do purchase consultations with everybody. It's one of those things that's so important to us. And so a purchase consultation is going to be anywhere between, I'd say, generally 40 minutes to an hour. And I find that such a valuable time that I haven't worried with, let me try to speed that up and save 20 minutes, because I feel like that's valuable time with my clients. On a refi consultation, it might be anywhere for just 10 minutes. If they know the drill, they know us, it's their second loan, they know Mortgage Coach, because again, they had it on their purchase. Where are they looking at for their refi? 10 minutes, maybe at max 20, 30, but most are under 20, I'd say.
Yeah, 10 to 15
quick.
minutes. And so it's a quick, concise, the client gets it, you net it out. Cool. And so I hope everybody got the takeaway here. It's not cookie cutter. She's building this to the client's needs. What are your goals? And then she's building this out, and then she's getting off the phone, and they've got this. The husband could share it with the wife could share it with the husband. If there's another person involved in decision making, it's a communication platform. It's a better way to communicate.
And that's where I think, I try, and that's maybe why I don't get so worried with the exact verbiage and how we sent it out the first time. Because one of my main things when I send out is I use the word pivot, and we're going to pivot this. This is like rough draft. And then we want to make sure that we've defined your goals. So we're big about question asking. Okay, where do you want payments? How long are you going to be in this house? Like all the common questions that you've got. And then we're going to adapt the Mortgage Coach. So what I start with is usually never what would I finish the consultation with. And that's where I guess I just don't spend as much time. I get it out, ranges of things, and then we realize what's important to the client, pivot it, and it's updated when they get off the phone and they've got it ready to go.
Cool. Well, let's go into your advice engine. I want to make sure everybody sees. So before you go, don't leave that yet.
Okay.
Note, guys, in the upper right-hand corner, she could click record video. If you could, don't click on it, but put your mouse up there.
Where do you want me to go? Oh, record video. Okay. Over here.
So she could click on a video. And if she didn't like her hair or her background, she could add an audio note. So if you didn't know it, that's a Mortgage Coach superpower. She could go preview and highlight, which it sounds like you use that feature a lot. Like
yes.
That's your go-to feature.
preview, highlight, come in here and go over to, because I always highlight, if you notice, I'm always payment, monthly savings, down here what I want them to see. So every single one is highlighted before it does go out with our emails.
Yeah, so there's a couple different places where you can do that. Go back to the advice engine. It's on every screen in the upper right-hand corner. And then you could go to the very end and do it. If you could click on settings real quick, upper right-hand corner, settings.
Over here, it's in the way. Okay, got it.
Upper right-hand corner, there you go. No, settings.
Hold on, your views. Oh, there we go. The zoom's in the way.
All right, so we can see she's done 2,142 total cost analysis. So, I mean, Grandmaster 2 times over. You can see that these reports have been viewed 16,778 times. So guys, that means not only is one family member looking at it, I don't know, whoever wants to do the math, like it looks like on average, your TCAs are getting viewed over 6 times. So she's doing a great job. What's your scripting so that, because I know loan officers that they're only getting viewed 2 and 3 times. You have a really high TCA to view rate. What do you think that, why? Like, what do you do?
We drive home. So in the email that I put, and as you see my videos, just, I need to do better at that. I just don't. I mean, it's just the live stuff is just what I use this for over and over again. And it's just quicker. I'll try and learn some more video stuff on there because I do video with everything else. So I think I put in the email, like I highlight it and I put click here. I used to take it and I would change the link to be like, to make it a hyperlink, to make it the wording look better. And I realized that actually was making my click count lower. So when we go on to, when I'm getting on the phone with the customer, 2 pieces that I think increased our view rate, because some people were like, why are you, they're looking for an attachment when there's actually a link. It's one, it literally says click here and it is highlighted and it is the biggest thing on the entire email. And it says click here for your loan options. And it says above that, we're going to go through these in your consultation and we're going to pivot them accordingly, but it's highlighted. And then either if it's myself or my LOAs, if they've done the pre-qual and they're getting it out, they say, okay, go look at the mortgage coach. It's in Mortgage Coach. You're going to want to open it and look at it before you get on the consultation with Stephanie. We try to schedule it at that point to know what's happening next. Then out of our CRM, we actually reference it again, where we send an automatic email and a text with a reminder of their appointment time the day before, and it references Mortgage Coach and gives them the link and tells them to open it. I also use it in my videos that go out of my CRM. So that's where my videos are. And it's got a link to it where there's pulling up a TCA to go through. Cash to close is one, understanding mortgage payments is the other. And so those video series go out and they're generic by nature, so I can keep using them over and over again, but it references their TCA in that so they can pull it up and see how to read it before we've got on the phone.
I love it. Well, you've got a really good ratio there. So congrats on that. If you could, you put your mouse over the belt where it says red belt, don't click on it. And then just to the right of that, an inch or two, there's a little box with an arrow pointing out of it. Click on that little box. It says TCA is created.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Boom.
There we go.
We take you through the belt. So whether you're a white belt fee worksheet loan officer, we're going to teach you the skills and we're going to reward you every step of the way. And that's all built into the product. So super cool. Go ahead and close that. For anybody new that's to the Mortgage Coach community, the first game you want to play is the onboarding game. So you can see along the right-hand side, it says add a headshot. She's done that. Add your first logo. If you could scroll down a little bit, do her first presentation. She doesn't have integrations, so doesn't have an API, but consecutive logins. So play the onboarding game, and then we'll turn you into an advisor with Mortgage Coach. So let's go into a purchase TCA and just talk about, how you're using Mortgage Coach with purchases.
Let's see. So we had 2 different ones I was going to pull up that was trying to be a little different. So I'll start with this one. Everyone knows us. I like to do weird loans sometimes, or a lot of times. We do every loan is, I guess, the right way to say it. So we found, and if anybody has even better solutions for this, that's great because we're always looking to learn too, is we do a lot of construction loans. So trying to figure out how to do the best TCA with, okay, you're just going to buy the lot you're going to do lotting, construction, and then what does your end loan look like? And I finally think I figured out a way in the same mortgage coach to show that, where they can say, okay, step 1, step 2, step 3. So I thought I'd show this one because it's just a little bit different. So over here, you know, I've set this up as a purchase TCA, and then basically this last one I pivoted to a refi. So we can go over to the main screen and show you how I did set that up. And I put the balance of the construction loan as my payoff. So the last is refi, first two are purchase in the same one. And it was kind of cool to show them, okay, because when someone calls me and asks for a construction loan, I always want to show them the end result to make sure whatever they're building is comfortable for their mortgage payment. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have this construction loan for 5 minutes. What does the end goal look like? So this kind of walks through and shows, okay, here's an interest only payment. Here's where we've got full taxes, insurance, everything. It's estimated, and I've got that word there because of course we don't know rates are going to be. So we try to err on the cautious side and kind of run some options for that.
So guys, communication platform. If you're quoting numbers, helping people make financial decisions, it's a platform to do that versus fee worksheet, PDF, linear, better way of doing it. So I love it. I think, you know, you definitely served a family in helping them understand how to go from, you know, I'm buying a lot, I'm doing a construction loan, and then I'm refinancing. You're telling a story and you're helping them see the numbers. What's another example of a refi TCA or purchase TCA?
Purchase TCA. Let's get on this one. And I didn't know if you want me to show anything in there, how we did that, but if y'all have questions,
if anybody wants to see more on that, I'm cool with it. If you want to do it, I'll see it.
What do you want me to do?
No, show another one. And then,
okay.
And then I want to show this one strategy that I think is huge for the community that Amber did. I want to get your feedback on it, and then we'll wrap it up unless we get questions from the audience.
Okay, perfect. Well, this is just
Bogart, what's up, dude? I see we've got a number of live viewers.
Perfect. Well, this one's just a standard. I think the titles, I tend to change them all the time. I'm like pointing out the rate, second call, and different things like that. This is just more of a plain standard regular purchase. So this guy was looking at the same, basically the same property. If his price is going to be a little bit higher or lower, multiple different rate strategies. So this is just very straightforward. And then he ended up getting his contract accepted. And I'd say one other thing that did help us a lot is we learned that our customers, kind of a side tangent, they would then pull this up. So this guy went under contract today. What we're going to do here now as part of our contract setup process is actually take the parameters. So the 740 didn't get accepted, his 710 did. Great, he saved more money on the house. I'm going to update this for all the specifics of the contract and put in here what we actually locked or what his options were, because we find that even someone was in contract, we've sent them disclosures, they come back to here first, which is kind of cool that we've trained them that way, right? So we want them to match, to know, and have these things available at any given point. So just a fun fact as far as what we realized, and they have it for reference later, like what the real loan looked like.
So this, oh, go ahead, keep going.
No, I was just gonna say, so basically, I don't know where in this you want me to go, but this is just, I mean, we basically showed two different rate options. We go through, so I would take these out and show, okay, $68 between 2.8 and 3.1. The other thing we look at now with our, you know, how markets changed in the last couple of days, we also show them that this is not, yes, it's a difference, but it's not, I mean, either way, it's amazing, guys. Like it's $68 on a $500,000 loan, you're going to be okay if the markets change, and I really focus on that. And then I usually run through, like in my consultation, I talk about big picture here. I make sure that they know where to go. So we talk this point, here's the monthly payments. We go through the cash to close. One thing I probably do different than other people do when I come over to cash to close, I talk about big picture, and then I live in fee detail a little bit more than I think some people want to stay here. I talk about here. So on these options, I've got third lender and third party, and then this guy's waiving escrow. So this has got just his home insurance. But I live in here, and I've titled them that way on purpose because I want them to know this is the only thing I charge. This is it. And in Texas, hey guys, I'm only $1,300. All these other fees are going to be about 2,000. Break out whose side of title policy it is. And then I harp on prepays because this is not escrowed. Most are. Our tax insurance are super high here. And so if someone looks at the bottom dollar and doesn't understand that 90% of these have nothing to do with us, they feel like your quote's high when it's not. So I do live in this screen, and I probably do that a little different than some people do.
Love, love, love it. I love this strategy because it's just a great example of purchase options, like a lot of different things that the family's doing. They get the home in escrow. Now you're going to edit it and bring it down, and you're using Mortgage Coach as a platform to deliver their options throughout the story. And I tell people all the time when they're new to Mortgage Coach, I always recommend that you create your first few TCAs on past pre-quals where either they've gone cold, you want to re-engage, rates have changed and you want to update them. That I always say, hey, for your first few TCAs, go through some of your pre-quals, create a TCA, and then use that as kind of a re-engagement value add to your pre-quals. Like that's a great way to create your first TCAs, or go through some of your refis that are sitting on the fence and use Mortgage Coach to warm them up or push people off the fence. So I love this example. Anything else you want to share about it, Stephanie?
I think those are the main things. I mean, it's just like, I think Mortgage Coach with anything is everyone's different, and pick what works for you within that. Obviously looking at some of the videos of everybody else's take on this is probably the best thing that you can do if you're first starting out with Mortgage Coach, and trial and error and feeling like what works and doesn't work. And, you know, as you see, I do it different. You would think I do videos all the time, and I don't. I could, but I mean, I live in that live TCA with them on the phone and going through that, and that works for me. Some people like the other videos. I think that that's probably the best advice. But I mean, either way, it provides just such clear clarity to not only you, but the client, team, all of the good stuff, and we love it.
Love it. So guys, think about it. This is what most loan officers do. Status Quo Fee Worksheet. And guys, Status Quo has 95% market share. A lot of loan officers are doing this. Rate payment, cash to close, every scenario is one sheet. And so what you're doing is totally different. You're playing at a whole different level. You're making sure every family is getting options. They're seeing those options over different periods of time. And you're always showing strategies. So I want to show my favorite strategy that Amber did. And I want to get your feedback on this because I think every Mortgage Coach member should be doing this. So it was a refinance. And then she asked them, how are you digging your current home? And the client said, you know, we wouldn't mind another room. You know, like after 4 months of COVID, we wouldn't mind a bigger home. So guys, refi, the family would have saved $312, $322. And then they said, well, for 5% down, you could get another bedroom. It'd be almost $100,000 more, and your payment would go up $507. Now these folks had a lot of equity. So they had about $125,000 that they were going to get when they sold that home. She said, we could recast your mortgage so you could buy the new home, 5% down, recast it. Their payment would go down $164. And she goes, or you could take that 125 after you sell it, put it in an interest-bearing account. They said, we're getting about 8% on their money. She said, well, let's be conservative, put in 6. And guys, look at this. It was families getting the dream home. So they're getting an extra $378,000 in equity. They're getting cash in the bank, and they're getting their dream home. So who doesn't want 50% more cash, 60% more net worth? And then guys, here's the deal. A realtor is getting a new listing, and one of her realtors is getting a move-up buyer. What do you think of that strategy?
I love that. We are big. So many clients don't even know you can recast. So I'm a big recast person. We do bridge loans and go non-contingent, pay it down later. So we use this a whole lot for payment now, payment later. So I never thought to put the refi and the purchase in there. I learned like how to do that when I did the construction stuff, that could all live in one happy TCA. So that's pretty good if they're comparing, because I actually have someone today that they were thinking about both. So I can put both of those in the same one instead of doing two. Even better.
That's always awesome when you can come and teach and you can learn. So,
Yeah, that's
so
my takeaway.
I want to see a lot more mortgage coach professionals doing that. I think there's a lot of equity in the market, guys. I think mortgage professionals, we are the light. Think of a family, if you're able to give them an analysis. By the way, think of the realtors. I want to see mortgage coach members going out to your realtors and saying, hey, let's do a Facebook Live event, or let's go to some of your borrowers that you think are most likely to move up and let me do a move up analysis. So here's the deal, guys. My mission at Mortgage Coach is to make change with people and how they get into debt. Obviously, part of that is technology. Anytime, anywhere, any device, they get mortgage advice. Last month, over 128,000 TCAs were created. So I mean, we're making change. That's a lot, and 278,000 views. Now, if I could teach everybody in the Mortgage Coach to get the kind of view versus creation you do, this would be like, God, what would it be? It would be like 600, 800,000 views. So that's why I do these interviews. Like,
I'd say that that's probably one of the strengths, and I always think about is how do you get more from what you already have? How do you increase conversion? How do you make the client experience better? Instead of going and getting more customers, why? You already got the ones right there. Why? You live in your database, you take care of people, you always help them. So I guess that kind of plays in, which I didn't realize my view count was so high. That's pretty cool.
it is. So closing thoughts, guys. This was a quote. I was at Inman Connect in 2017, and this is the founder of Zillow. They've done pretty good. He knows a little bit about where mortgage and real estate is going. And a quote that I wrote down is, he said, the agent of the future is a coach and advisor to home buyers and home sellers. And I believe that. And obviously Stephanie is a coach. And here's the closing thought, guys. The future is here. The status quo fee worksheet is no longer a viable option compared to the mortgage coach analysis. And that's, guys, that's what we're here to do. We're here to help you go to that next level. That's why I do these interviews, so you can hear loan officers in different cities and different markets with different personalities. You know, like she said, one person loves video, one person doesn't. One person loves live. Everybody has a different way, but we're here to help you guys go to the next level. So let's close out with two more questions. One, what advice do you just have to loan officers today? Because obviously you're number one at your company, but you're looked up to by a lot of people, in the sales mastery community. What advice do you have for them?
Overall advice, just in general?
Yeah, just, it doesn't have to be mortgage coach. It's just like, what advice do you have to, you see a lot of loan officers doing the wrong things, some doing the right things. What advice do you have for them?
I mean, I think it all boils down to, it's about helping every single customer along the way, one at a time, doing the best job and the best financial advice that you can give each and every one of them. We treat every customer the same, $50,000 purchase or $2 million client, making sure that they get the stellar service and realizing that every client can lead to another client down the road. And, right now, obviously with the stress, and we tell the team, we're like one at a time, get everybody done, and just next. And I think right now that if you haven't been in the industry a long time, you have to realize what an opportunity that we have. And whether the market went up a little bit these last couple of days, who cares? Okay, your rate's 3 instead of 2.7. I mean, in general, let's be realistic with it. And this is the time where you can do so much for so many people, and you need to get up and do it every day. And you don't want to look back and look at this time and say, man, I was in the mortgage industry in 2020 and 2020, and I didn't help enough people. So maybe that's why every day that I just have this, like, I've got to help every single person I can. And I look at it as helping them, because if you can go save someone $500, $600, $700, we had a refi the other day, we saved them $1,300 a month. I mean, that's life-changing, right? You're paying off people's houses quicker. You're getting to move up, like, in this other analysis, and have their dream job. And I think we sometimes lose sight with how crazy it is. But I mean, we just are so blessed with what's happening this year that you need to strike on it and not look up and say, oh my gosh, I didn't.
So my takeaway from what she just said, biggest takeaway is, I think most loan officers know they're seeing good and bad. It takes a rare, special loan officer to know the difference between great and wow. And the only way you can be a wow loan officer is to have a great presentation or do great things and do them consistently. Like, I think that really delineates, differentiates you from a lot of folks. And let's face it, I mean, most loan officers deliver a fee worksheet. That's bad. A growing population of loan officers are using Mortgage Coach, but they use it sometimes. When I get grinded, I use it. That's good. But guys, you can't be the wow loan officer unless you have a great process and you do it consistently. So hopefully you took that from what she just said, consistency, and also the word help. She just wants to help people at the highest level. Okay, last question. Any new blood coming into the market? Because there are a lot of new loan officers coming in. There's a lot of people coming in as an LOA or a client concierge or a processor. So there's just a flood of new people coming into the business. Anybody who's in their first 6 months in the mortgage business, what advice do you have for them?
I think if you're speaking on the sales side, I mean, right now is such an amazing time, like I said, to get in the mortgage business, and so many people can be helped. When I made the transition over to come to have to get new leads and figure it out, whatever I did, it's the consistency, and it goes back to that. So even if it doesn't work, you keep doing it. You pick your daily disciplines, you do your calls, whatever it is that you're going to do to make business, you need to define it. And no matter if it doesn't work on time one, do not give up. Most people do give up. It's over and over and over again, and then you will make it. It takes a little bit to get into this industry. And then lean on somebody, and hopefully you're at a company where you have the support that, will help you along the way. If you're a brand new loan officer and you want to, one of the best things is finding a team, like, someone like ourselves or whoever, to go behind and mentor and learn so much and then go out on your own. I still think that that's one of the best ways to get in the industry.
I love that. I love it. Close it out. And my final thoughts for everybody on this call is, don't be a status quo loan officer who gives a fee worksheet, rate, payment, cash to close. Be a loan officer that goes beyond the average experience. And you do need to leverage modern day technology, not because of the tech, but we live in a world where people live on devices. We live in a world where technology and communication is on platforms. It's on Facebook, it's on LinkedIn, it's on Instagram. And when you quote rates, you need to do it with the platform. So hopefully you got value from this. Really appreciate you, Stephanie. I know you're super busy, and you made time to deliver a lot of value to the community today. So thank you.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
All right. Take care, everybody. If you got value, give us a like. Love it. If you're a team leader, watch it with your team. Take care, everybody.